Well, I have to say, I think it's very sad when Germany makes a massive oil and gas deal with Russia, where you're supposed to be guarding against Russia, and Germany goes out and pays billions and billions of dollars a year to Russia. So we're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting all of these countries, and then numerous of the countries go out and make a pipeline deal with Russia, where they're paying billions of dollars into the coffers of Russia.
You know what really frightens me about the future? When the United Kingdom is talking about, give or take 6 million homes ending up in power outages next winter. And I would like to tell people why. You see, the energy crisis is not just because of Russia. I mean, it is part because of Russia. But it is also due to the pandemic. We are now paying the bill. Yeah, that's right. You go to the doctor, he gives you your medicine to stay at home, stay safe, save lives, shut down that fucking economy. But after all is said and done, you need to pay the bill. Nothing in life is free. And unfortunately, this is part of the bill. And if it's happening in the UK, I dread to think how it's going to be like in Europe. Because number one, Europe is a lot more dependent on Russian gas. And one of the reasons for this, which the press doesn't really want to address, but we see it right here in one of the statements that the UK government had, thanks to a massive $90 billion investment in renewable energy in the last decade, we have one of the most reliable and diverse energy systems in the world. So this is what they were talking before coming out and saying, oh yeah, well, this winter we might have power outages. And we saw the power outages in Texas, which also has a lot of renewable energy. Now, I just want to remind people what power outages mean. It means no heating. Okay, so in the UK, the winters aren't very harsh. But in Europe, they are. In certain parts of the world, they are. No heating means the water can freeze inside your pipes and it can break your pipes. I'm telling you this from Romania, which does have some severe winters. Not as severe as in Norway or Canada or other places, but they're pretty bad. And besides that, you know, no television, no entertainment. God forbid you decided to buy an electric stove or the dreaded electric kettle. You're not going to be able to cook. And I don't know if this is going to extend to businesses. Like, if it happens to a small business, you're not going to be able to use the cashier in order to get people to pay. Like, they will not be able to use their credit cards. It's really bad. Which kind of explains why the governments right now want to help people be safe. You know, they're talking about digital tracking and all of that type of good shit. You know, the holy QR code. That's digital tracking, right? Like, you want to go and have a little romantic dinner with your missus at the local cafe. Oh, you need to show QR code. You need to show papers. We saw in Canada what they did when the truckers decided to protest. Oh, we shut down your bank account. Right? So the governments are trying their best to keep people safe. In other words, I think that the people are the governments. They're trying to keep themselves safe because it's going to be very difficult when this shit hits the fan. I mean, when you're going to have people who don't get their circus and don't get their bread, might get a little bit upset. So it's going to be a nasty winter. Now, again, part of it is indeed due to the fact that all these governments were taking gas from Russia, knowing the history of Russia, knowing the fact that Russia is not usually a friend of Europe, right? So that is the number one issue. The number two issue is the renewable energies. Like, for decades, we listened to a child with autism, Greta Thunberg. Oh, well, you listen to Greta Thunberg, now get what's coming to you. Congratulations. Hopefully you save the planet. Right? So let's understand the logic what we're talking here, because there might be some liberals watching. I need to simplify it. You shut down your own energy system in your country, right? No more coal, no more oil, no more gas. Okay, we shut that out. And then we buy gas from Russia. Does that make any sense? Does that compute? Does that make any logical sense? Even if you want to save the planet, all right? Like, even if you want to save the planet, tell me, how does that make sense? How does it make sense that you destroy your energy production at home and then you're buying energy from a foreign nation? Isn't the planet a whole? Like, I thought borders are a scar of the earth and they're bad. So isn't the planet a whole? Like, if they're polluting in Russia, but they're polluting less in the UK, at the end of the day, isn't the same amount of pollution being done? Because the planet doesn't care about the border. Same thing, you know, like, oh, well, destroy the manufacturing industry here so that you can buy from China. And then when the pandemic hits, oh, we're locking down the borders. Oh, the shit from China isn't coming in. Oh, we got supply shortages. Oh, the stores are now experiencing shortages. Oh, it's those pesky store owners that are trying to gouge us. That's about what we're getting. And the thing that scares me the most is that the UK is thinking of this. I mean, if the UK is thinking of this, imagine how they're thinking about the people in Germany, how they're thinking about it. If it's affecting the UK that bad. And again, like, the governments are more concerned than ever with cracking down misinformation online. All of a sudden, like, you notice, like, for the last 6 years, people could just talk online with no problem. Like, they weren't concerned at all. All of a sudden, it's like, no, we need to make sure that we monitor people and we notice what they're talking about. Because someone might actually say, well, maybe it's the people in power that are the problem. Maybe it's the environmentalist activists that got us to where we are at. It would be interesting to follow where the activists get their money, you know, because being an activist, like protesting, blocking a highway, or whatever the fuck Extinction Rebellion and other environmentalist groups were doing in the UK, you can't do that and have a job. So someone needs to pay them so that they can spend an entire working day blocking the subway or doing whatever the fuck they were doing, right? Like, they need to have money from someplace coming in, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to do that. Like, they would have to get a real job. Seeing them blocking the subway when the working class were going to their jobs doesn't justify it. Like, how the fuck are they making money? So, yeah, I mean, it's going to get a lot worse. I think the authoritarianism is going to get a lot worse. And the people will suffer, you know? It's not the elites that are going to get the power outages. Like, I have a feeling at Boris Johnson's home, he's going to have electricity. I have this feeling that the people who go to work as the elected officials, they're going to have electricity. It's you chuckleheads that won't have electricity. Probably people like me. Romania is not that dependent on Russian gas, and we didn't have all that environmental nonsense going on. So Romania might be like a good benchmark of how, like, your country could have looked like if it was ran by normal people with common sense and cynicism. I'm also curious, like, how much Russia was supporting these environmentalist groups. Because, like, again, like, when you look at who's benefiting, it was Russia. Like, you have a country like Germany, right? And Germany has nuclear power, and they're, I mean, they're not energy independent, but, like, most of their energy was produced in-house. And then you have the environmentalist groups that are like, no, let's shut down nuclear power. Let's shut down our coal industry. Let's shut down everything. And then let's import gas from Russia. It's like, why aren't the environmentalists complaining when they were importing gas from Russia? That's my question. Let me know what you guys think, though. And I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.